From the heat of the African desert, we move to the cold and rain of the Eifel Mountains for the Eifel Grand Prix at the Nürburgring. Here, the auto unions of Stuck, Fondelius, Varzi and Rosemeyer are ranged against the Mercedes of Caracciola, von Brauchitsch and Hermann Lang, and the Alfa Romeos of Nuvolari, Farina and Brivio. Here's Caracciola reveling in the rain and leading the race from Nuvolari on the Alfa and Rosemeyer on the Auto Union. Von Brauchitsch leads Raf's Maserati through a soaking wet S-bend. And there's Lang going through the north turn. Caracciola leads Nuvolari down the straight behind the pits and out into the country at the start of another 14.5-mile lap. Manfred von Brauchitsch heads Ernst Fondelius. And Hermann Lang leads Hans Stuck. Now Rosemeyer chases von Brauchitsch. The skill required to drive these 550 horsepower cars to their limit is remarkable. And few, if any, are more skilled than Bernd Rosemeyer in car 18 and Tazio Nuvolari. Tazio now leads the race, and Bernd as they hurtle past the pits. On the back straight, however, the Auto Union surges past the Alfa. Now thick fog envelops the forests and slows everyone but the amazing Rosemeyer, whose extraordinary eyesight enables him to lap in 11 minutes 32.6 seconds to Nuvolari's 12 minutes 14.9, then 11:40 to Tazio's 12:28. He wins the race by over 2 minutes and is greeted by his delighted mother and father. Sportführer Adolf Hunlein proclaims Bernd's victory for the fatherland, and then Bernd waits for his friend Tazio as they receive the roars of approval from the huge crowd who've witnessed an extraordinary race. For several years, the Hungarian Grand Prix has appeared on the motor racing calendar. But only now is it actually going to take place in June. Beforehand, the Auto Union cameraman cannot resist filming some of the sights of this beautiful city, which straddles the river Danube. The chain bridge looks good from any angle, and a Horsch coupe poses with the Parliament building in the background. The 3.1-mile circuit is situated in a park. Auto Union send 3 cars for Rosemeyer, Stuck and Varzi. At the start, our cameraman seems confused as the cars, led by the Auto Unions of Stuck and Varzi, rush into the first corner, watched by thousands of Hungarians who are stunned by the noise, speed and spectacle of the Silver Arrows. Hans Stuck corners in exuberant fashion, as do Caracciola and Louis Chiron in their Mercedes. And now Rosemeyer plays hare to the Mercedes hounds. Somehow our cameraman neglects to show us these Scuderia Ferrari Alfa Romeos, one of which is driven to victory by Tazio Nuvolari. The Auto Unions of Rosemeyer and Varzi finish second and third, but all the Mercedes retire. The great success of the Silver Arrows over the past 2 years means that Grand Prix racing has become enormously popular in Germany. and more than 300,000 spectators pour into the Nürburgring for the German Grand Prix in July. The 4 auto unions receive attention in their garage. Hans Stuck is in the team with Rosemeyer, Hasse and Delius. But Achille Varzi has gone missing. This is the first indication of his tragic addiction to morphine, which will wreck his great career. The cars are started, and this highly technical test shows that all 16 cylinders are firing. In true Teutonic fashion, the race is started with a cannon shot, and for the second time this year, Bernd Rosemeyer shows himself to be a true ringmeister. On his third lap, Bernd, in car number 4, becomes the first man to lap the daunting Nürburgring in under 10 minutes, recording the remarkable time of 9 minutes 56.4 seconds, an average speed of 85.5 mph. And here, Lang's slowing Mercedes is passed by the Alfa Romeo of René Dreyfus. The Mercedes of Manfred von Brauchitsch flashes past, followed by Hans Stuck. Time for pit stops. Here's Rosemeyer, watched by Dr. Porsche in his Trilby. And now, Ernst von Delius. Antonio Brivio brings his Alfa Romeo into the pits for fuel and tires. And here's Germany's hero, Bernd Rosemeyer, enjoying himself hugely during practice. This may not be too good for his tires, but it looks wonderful. So wonderful, in fact, that here it is again. The cars rush uphill to the carousel turn. Spectators leap to their feet as auto unions finish first and second in the Grand Prix. Rosemeyer leading Stuck to the checkered flag. And Bernd gets a kiss from his shy bride, the famous pilot, Elly Beinhorn. They were married just 2 weeks ago in Berlin on July the 13th. Their lucky number. Auto Union entered 4 cars for the Swiss Grand Prix at Bern, led by Hans Stuck and Bernd Rosemeyer, seen here with Elly. Mercedes are having their worst season ever and withdrew from the Coppa Ciano, won by Nuvolari on his Alfa, and the Coppa Acerbo, won by Rosemeyer. They return for the Swiss Grand Prix, but are humiliated by an Auto Union 1-2-3, as Rosemeyer leads Varzi and Stuck to victory for Zwickau. Two weeks later, the Auto Union transporters make their way, in fits and starts, across the Alps to Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. The scenic route has certain distractions. Before the race, Hans Stuck is in a happy mood, as is Achille Varzi and reserve driver Rudolf Hasse. Dr. Porsche consults his stopwatch. And here are Auto Union's senior mechanics, Ludwig and Wilhelm Sebastian. The Italians love a parade, and this one is led by the Alfas of Tazio Nuvolari, Carlo Pintachiude, and René Dreyfus, followed by the Auto Unions of Stuck and Rosemeyer, Varzi and Fondelius. Team manager Karl Feuerreisen walks with Ernst Fondelius and Dr. Porsche with Bernd Rosemeyer. "Smile for the camera," says Bernd. And here are the Maseratis, handsome but outclassed in this company. Absent are the Mercedes, the team having withdrawn from racing after its defeat in the Swiss GP. The Alfas cannot match the German cars for sheer speed, but are at least reliable, finishing second, fourth and sixth. Ernst Fondelius drives a fine race for Auto Union and might well have finished second ahead of Nuvolari, but for a 5-minute pit stop to repair an oil pipe. In order to keep the speeds down, the Monza circuit has been infested with chicanes, but they cannot prevent the irrepressible Bernd Rosemeyer from scoring yet another victory, his 5th of the year. He's also won the mountain climbs at Freiburg and Feldberg. And so, in only his 2nd season of motor racing, this extraordinary young man is crowned European Drivers' Champion and German Mountain Champion. A truly remarkable achievement.
Gnädige Frau, ich habe versucht, aus dem Bernd was über Südafrika rauszukriegen, aber der hat mir gesagt, Sie könnten mir das viel besser erzählen.
Lieber Doktor, darüber könnte man wirklich stundenlang reden. Vor allen Dingen war für mich die Tatsache, zum ersten Mal mit einem Mann und gleich mit meinem Mann einen großen Flug zu machen und dann noch in der schnellen Taifun in meinem Flugzeug, war wirklich ein ganz großes Erlebnis. Bernd und ich fanden es herrlich, unser erstes verheiratetes Weihnachtsfest in Südafrika verbringen zu können. Und wir waren begeistert, als uns die Auto-Union mitteilte, dass Bernd und Ernst Fondelius dort unten am Rennen teilnehmen sollten. Für uns war es von vornherein klar, dass für diese Reise nur mein Flugzeug, der Taifun, in Frage kam. Es war mächtig kalt, als wir Anfang Dezember in Berlin starteten. Und für uns beide, die wir die Sonne und die Wärme heiß lieben, war der Gedanke, schon in 2 Tagen in der afrikanischen Sonne zu schmoren, etwas Wunderbares. Bernd, der neben seinem Beruf als Rennfahrer auch ein gelernter und, wie ich finde, sehr guter Mechaniker ist, sorgte vor dem Start und später auch während des ganzen Fluges dafür, dass unser Argus-Motor immer in tadelloser Ordnung war. Denn ich weiß aus einem früheren Erlebnis, wo ich unfreiwillig viele Tage notgelandet am Südrand der Wüste Sahara zubrachte, was es bedeutet, wenn man sich auf seine Maschine verlassen kann. Unterwegs haben wir dann eine Menge von unvergesslichen Erlebnissen mitgenommen.